Hello guys, LD Man here, and today we're going to be taking a look at evidence. Your Honor, he's guilty because we found this tie at the scene of the crime. And only my opponent would wear such a deplorable tie. No, not that type of evidence. This type of evidence. Books, quotes, magazines, news stories, all of these make good evidence for a debate round. Now, let's take a look at some examples of how you can actually use it in a round, and some possible ideas for organizing your evidence so you can keep track of it. Good quotes are something you can't really do without in a Lincoln Douglas debate round. Use them for introductions and for backup support, as well as to refute opponents' points. For example, say we're talking about communism versus regular old capitalism. Well, maybe a good quote to start in with would be, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall," by Ronald Reagan. This quote brings inspiration to the mind of the audience, showing that capitalism truly is better without you having to go through a 90-page lecture explaining the logic behind capitalism and so on. One quote says it all. Or, for instance, you need to explain the spirit behind the American Revolution. What were the founders willing to do to protect this freedom? You could use Patrick Henry. "Give me liberty, or give me death." You see, there's pretty much a quote for anything you might want to say. So rather than say it yourself, say it by somebody who actually has meaning to the round. That's all I'm going to say on quotes. All you have to do to find quotes on issues is simply Google them. Now, how do you organize all these quotes? My suggestion is get a binder. A binder helps out by allowing you to have a way of quickly sorting and flipping through your quotes, especially if you have a lot of them, multiple pages. And this would be in addition to your normal debate binder. I'd usually have one debate binder and one evidence/quote binder. What this allows you to do is have all your quick quotes that you use all the time on one sheet of paper, front and back, for use in your debate binders for quick references during the round. Whereas, if you have a quote that you don't use that often but still need and know you'll want at some point, that's where you'd come in with this big binder. You'd have it indexed, just like a book, and be able to flip through it to find the quote based on subject or whatever you feel is the best way of organizing it. Personally, I normally liked mine by subject, as in a debate round you'll likely be talking about the subject of, say, a certain value or a certain argument, and that really helps with how you find the quotes quickly to refute your opponent. Now, let's look at another genre you can use to back up your case. News. Now, popular topics are always great for debate rounds, and this includes things that are no more than about 3 or so months old. Look at the extemp guys. They carry around huge boxes full of argumentation. "I got modern news. How about you?" Yeah, that type of guy. The guy who's always carrying around hundreds of articles to sort through. Except now they're allowed to use computers, which is a little bit easier. That aside though, you need to be up on the current events. What this does is it gives you a strategic edge in the debate round, which could very well determine whether you or your not so up-to-date opponent wins the round. For example, say the resolution is to assist other countries in need. As a matter of fact, this was a former NCFCA debate resolution. Now, all of a sudden the US decides, say Israel all of a sudden comes under attack. Bombs are flying in, shells are coming down, Russia's invading from the north, and Egypt is coming up from the south. All of a sudden Israel's in dire need, they're going to be wiped off the map. Well, the United States decides, this is against human rights for this country to be totally abolished. We need to go and help them by saving them from this immense threat. So they go in and invade. Now this would be frontline headlines, and for this resolution, critical, especially if you have a tournament that weekend. You need to pull articles on this, research it constantly, and say, "Hey, Judge, this is exactly why we need to have other nations assisting one another in a world, because it prevents human rights infringements and the total extinction of a nation." Or on a more minor scale, say you're talking about assisting another nation, and FEMA comes out with a study that says that food aid is assisting this country in, say, Africa become a better and more capitalist society? That would be a more realistic look at some current events you can look for. So, thank you for watching and have a fantastic day. LD Man, signing out.